All right, we're going to do some simplifying fractions, or as you might prefer to think of it, we are going to be doing long division. So long division works this way. The bottom number goes on the outside, and the top number goes on the inside. That's going to work every single time. Now, there's a trick that we're using. I'm not going to explain the details of it, but basically we're going to see how many times does 3 go into 500. 3 goes into 500. But we're just going to look at the 3 goes into 5. Now, you probably know 3 goes into 5 just fine, but what we're going to do is we're going to do a trick that's going to work for every single kind of problem. And I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to make a quick table. So at the start of every single problem that I do with long division, I'm going to do this table, and I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like I need to make my table a little bit longer. Okay, this is just a quick cheat. So if I take a number and I multiply it, if I multiply by 1, I'm going to get the same number back. So I start off and I've got 1 and 3, because that's the number I'm dividing by. So 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 6 is 9, and now I'm starting to get a little bit, I have to memorize it, so I can just add by 3 each time, right? So that'll be 12, and then 15, and then add 3, it gets 18. 3 times 7 is 21, add 3, that's 24, and 27. Now I have all the numbers that I need, because 0 isn't interesting and 10 isn't going to come up at all. So this cheat sheet is going to help me all the way through every problem that I do. And the way that it works is going to go like this. 3 goes into 5. Okay, so I'm going to look over here for 5. I don't have a 5. The closest or the largest number would be 3. So I don't have anything left over. So I'm going to go with, it goes in, not 3 times, it goes in once. So I look for the number here, that 5, and then I write the corresponding number. So 1 times 3 is, I've already done it, 3, and then I subtract, and I get 2. Now, I've got some leftovers from my previous problem, so I'm going to bring down that 4. So 3 goes into 24 is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to look down this list, and I find 24. So 24 tells me that it goes in 8 times. So I write an 8 up here. So 8 times 3, I've already done that, is 24. Exactly. So I can subtract, and I've got nothing remaining. But I'm still not done. I've got this 3 up here, so I'm going to drag that on down. 3 goes into 3. Okay, I know this one, but still. I find the 3. I write the 1. 1 times 3 is 3, so I have nothing left over, and there's my answer. Okay, that's not too bad, I hope. So we're going to try it again. Make sure that we've got this pattern down. So I'm going to keep that table visible here. So let's see. It was the bottom goes on the outside, and the top goes on the inside. And so 3 goes into 6. So I find the 6, and I write the 2 that's next to it. 2 times 3 is 6. I subtract, and I have nothing left over. Perfect. Just what I wanted to have happen. I'm going to drop down this 7. So 3 goes into 7. Okay, so 6 is smaller than 7. 9 is bigger. So I have to go with the 6. I get 2. 2 times 3 is 6, just like it's gone there. So notice that I'm just reading it off the table. And left over is just 1. And let's drag this down. 18. So I'm looking for 18 on my table. There's the 18. So I'm going to write 6 up above. 6 times 3 is then 18. And when I subtract, 18 minus 18 is just 0. So my answer is 226. I hope that's helping out a little bit. There are a couple of things to keep in mind for the future. So here I've got 901. If you remember your divisible by 3 trick, you see that this is not going to go in nicely. Bottom goes on the outside. Top goes on the inside. So 3 goes into 9. Let's see, what was that again? 3 goes into 9 3 times. And 3 times 3 is 9. Again, I haven't calculated. I'm just reading off the table. If I bring down the 0, nothing happens. So then I'm going to bring down this 1. 3 goes into 1. It doesn't go in, according to this, it doesn't go in any times, right? Because I get to the 3, it goes in 0 times. So I was supposed to write a 0 there and a 0 there. 0 times 3 is 0. I subtract, and I've got 1 left over. There's a couple of things we can do with this. Sometimes you'll write it as 300 remainder 1. And that tells me that 901 divided by 3 is the same thing as 300. This is where it's going to be kind of nice. I take that 1 and I put it on top, and then I divide it by the original divisor, which is 3, and that tells me that this is true. So 901 is the same thing as 300 and 1/3. Now, you may also remember, and this is one we can just memorize, 1/3 is exactly the same thing as 0.3 repeating, or 0.33. So we get to say 300 plus we're going to add on this 1/3. That's right there. There's our answer in decimal form. Okay, one more time, because there's only one other possibility here. I've got 5, 6, 7, 8. So 3 goes on the outside because it's on the bottom. 5, 6, 7, 8 goes on the inside because it's on the top. 3 goes into 5 once, according to my table. So then I get a 2 there. I bring down the 6. So 3 goes into 26 8 times, right? Because 26 is smaller than 27. I have to go back here. So that's 8 times. 8 times 3 gives me 24. Now I bring down the 7. 3 goes into 27. Oh, right there. Goes in 9 times. 9 times 3 is 27. We subtract. Get nothing there. Bring down the 8. 3 goes into 8. Oh gosh, how many times does 3 go into 8? So 3, 6, 9. 9 doesn't work, so it goes in twice. So 2 times 3 is 6. So I have 2 left over. And I can write that up here. So it's 1,892 with a remainder of 2. So I could write 5, 6, 7, 8 over 3 is the same thing as 1892. Then I take the remainder and put it on top. I put the original on the bottom, so it's still a thirds. And there we go, perfectly good answer. But you probably remember that 2/3 is the same thing as 0.6 repeating, right? It's a 2 times 3 is a way to remember that, which means that I can rewrite this as 1892. Then I'm going to add on that 2/3, 0.6 repeating, and there's our answer. So remember, use the table at the start. You know what your divisor is. You'll know all the multiples up to 9. The top goes on the inside. The bottom goes on the outside. If you have a remainder, we can usually convert it into a decimal.